In this video we will discuss about this monocyte pseudopod transmigration. So basically we will continue our discussion where we have stopped in our previous video. So in the previous video we have understood how this L-selectin interacts with this erzin and moesin in the monocyte, as radixins are not expressed heavily in this L-selectin. So here the interactions depends on erzin and moesin, and both of these interactions, cyclic interactions of this, will helps in the pseudopod transmigration. So here it is interacted with the Ezrin, and this will results in this L-selectins to come and interact. This results with the L-selectin to come and interact with this hepran, chrondriotin sulfate or dermatan in the some endothelial region, and these interactions helps in these pseudopod formations, that we can see that the monocytes are able to transmigrate from the top region to the bottom region. At the same time, what will happen is that there is a cyclic interactions between erzin and moesin occurs, and this is supported by the phosphorylation and dephosphorylations in this tail region of the L-selectin. When it is phosphorylated, and the serine residue in the tail region is phosphorylated, and it interacts with this moesin. And when it is phosphorylated, it interacts with erzin, and when it is dephosphorylated, it interacts with moesin. And these phosphorylations and dephosphorylations helps in this L-selectin clustering, and that can be seen here. And this clustering thereby helps in this pseudopod transmigrations formations. And thereafter, once this clustering occurs and it interacts with this moesin, it will also leads to the shedding of the L-selectin. It can be seen here. However, the current mechanisms for this L-selectin shedding is not known, but it is expected that this clustering, when it interacts with moesin, it will lead to the clustering, and that ultimately leads to the shedding, and thereby preventing further pseudopod formations or multiple pseudopod formations. And the reason is not completely known, the exact reasons why its interact with the moesin leads to this shedding of the L-selectin. It is not completely known. So if this L-selectin shedding is prevented somehow, then what will happen? It will lead to the multiple protrusions formations that can be seen in this panel C, and these multiple protrusions, transmigrations, formations will will result in the loss of cell polarity, and it will affect the full ability of the these monocytes for transmigrations. And that can be seen here that multiple protrusion phenotypes forms, and some of them might cancel out to each other. For example, this one might be cancel out some of the forces of on the opposite side, and this thereby the net polarity that the cell observes is less compared to the case where the shedding of the L-selectin occurs, and cells can maintain the polarity to move in particular directions. And the things that is important to know about the cyclic interactions of this moesin and erzin in the monocyte. And the cyclic interactions cause this clustering. So the optimum levels of these clusterings needs to be done. If it is too much, then it might cause the shedding of the L-selectin. So this actin remodeling optimizations is required. Or otherwise, if there is no shedding done, or somehow the shedding has been L-selectin has been blocked by the enzyme that cause the shedding of the L-selectin, then it might also lead, it is also not helpful, as it might leads to multiple protrusion phenotype, and that results in the loss of cell polarity. And these monocytes can be helpful. However, sometimes in the case of, especially in the case of solid tumors, it helps in the tumor progressions. So this monocyte pseudopod transmigrations is not always in support, but most of the time it is These things usually occurs when the immune cells are migrating towards the tumor sites to uh, through this adaptive immune response or innate immune response, through because of the adaptive immune response and also because of the innate immune response. So that's all for this video. If you need to understand more about this monocyte pseudopod transmigrations in detail, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. So that's all for this video. Thank you for your time.